Skate won't be playable offline. This is Victoria Kennedy at Eurogamer. Skate developer Full Circle has stated its upcoming reboot won't have an offline mode. This is because, quote, the game and city known as San Vansterdam
I like it.
Are designed to be a living, breathing, massively multiplayer skateboarding sandbox, and both are always online and always evolving. According to a recent column by the developer, skate players will notice changes to San Vansterdam itself as time goes on, as well as, quote, smaller things like live events and other in-game activities. And so the studio can deliver on its vision, skate will always require a live connection. Full Circle says this may not be a surprise to anyone who has been part of Skate's playtest, but it may still be a surprise to those who haven't been partaking. After all, the original games were offline. Then again, the Skate Revival will be a free-to-play title on its release, so perhaps some were already expecting an online connection as standard. In addition to chatting about the lack of an offline mode, the Skate team also addressed the playtest microtransactions. As reported in March, microtransactions were added during the game's closed alpha test. Quote, we know that using real money during a playtest is a little unusual, but we think it's the best way to properly assess and adjust the system before launch, Full Circle said today. If you see prices or other things changing over time, please understand that this is normal. And of course, you will receive the amount you spend during playtest in San Van Bucks, SVB, when we...
I like that less.
when we reset for early access launch, end quote. As to when we will be able to get our hands on Skate, Full Circle remains committed to its 2025 early access release window, although it hasn't shared a more specific date yet.
The last portion of this article felt like parody.
It sounded like something it's an article they'd be reading in GTA 6 on the internet.
Yeah, the San Van Bucks and everything. I'm not surprised by this.
No.
I think that it will disappoint some, and I think that it will be a big deal, and there will be an outcry for maybe 4 days that people will forget, and then people will end up just moving on and then buying Skate whenever it comes out. Now, these play tests.
Hold on. Jay Shogo says, this game is going to be DOA. I want super chats on youtube.com/kindoffunnygames. Do you think this game is going to be DOA? Are you excited for Skate? Do you care about any of the stuff we just talked about? Sorry, back to you.
I mean, I don't disagree with that when it just...
The DOA?
With you mentioning, it's everybody's fighting for time. And
yeah,
it's a different era, and there's a lot of different video games that people can be playing out there. But yeah, I don't. When are these playtests? Are they embargoed? I got to assume. But
it said playtests in February. Yeah,
but people are spending money. It just feels like there's been a lot of missed emails. Like, why has nobody here participating in the playtest?
I don't know. It's bullshit.
I have a Skate guy. I'm texting him right now.
Okay.
Hello, sir. I'm writing this on KFGD. Why the fuck are we not in our... Well, I should put fuck in all caps. Why the fuck are we...
I thought he was going to stop himself to say, I shouldn't put fuck in this email.
Skate Alpha. Is it Alpha, right?
Alpha, yeah. Or playtest or whatever.
Alpha playtest.
Thank you. Please respond on air. This is live.
I think what mainly sucks about a lot of the DOA talk with a lot of different games that are trying to exist and trying to have a living, breathing economy, for lack of a better word, is it's never an indictment on the quality of the game. It's just always where people are at. And I hope that developers know and understand that, amazing games get canceled and have their servers shut down. And it's never because the game was of bad quality. It's because people would rather be in their spaces where they already were and where their ecosystems are and where their money and their accounts are tied to.
So let me bring in a question or a statement here from the chat, which is Fox to the Future, who says there's no way this will be DOA. People still play Skate 3 online to this day. I think as we found time and time again, there's always a way something could be DOA. As you're saying, how much there is to play, how much is going on, all the different things that are happening in our world. I also am of the belief that where we get into trouble with, will this be DOA, will it not, blah, 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 is EA. What is EA expecting out of this? What does EA need out of this? What does even the developer Full Circle need for this to be a success? I look at that, and that excites me. I like Skate. I've missed Skate. When I hosted the EA thing, the EA E3 EA Play, before Xavier Woods killed it,
what a shame.
I was always making jokes about Skate because I wanted Skate to come back, and I got to announce Skate was back, and I was so excited. So, like, it coming back and being this always online and this thing and the other, that isn't a downer to me because maybe I'm totally wrong. Maybe it'll be garbage, blah, blah, blah. But to think about what I would want out of this, it kind of sounds exciting. If it was that I'm going to pop in for 15, 20, 30, whatever minutes, maybe a bigger sessions, but it is, what are the dailies today? Go do this thing, earn a cool shirt, whatever. Even the microtransactions, I'm the kind of guy who is like, I will not buy the overwhelming majority of them, but when there is a cool shirt that makes my character look more like me, when there is a Ghostbusters tie-in, when whatever, I'd be like, yeah, sure, that sounds fun.
There will be a Ghostbusters tie-in, huh?
Let's not get our hopes up. Let's not get our hopes up.
When
I
get
get a Slimer deck, you know what I mean? When I get a Slimer deck,
man,
like that's the kind of shit where I'll be like, yeah, I want to do that, and I want to pop in, but I don't see that being a game either that I would want to do at launch 40 hours of, or would I want to be,
don't worry,
putting in a gajillion hour. Hey, Mike, you're here. What's up?
Hey, homie. What's the difference than just playing the game normally if it was a normal game?
Yeah.
Hey, I'm going to do 2 or 3 missions today and call it a day. It's like just a different way of thinking when you bring that up. It's like, well, why not just play? If it was a normal $60 title, it dropped. Oh, I'm just going to play 3 missions today and call it a day.
I imagine there's going to be a bunch of missions and stuff already. Are you Connor, arguing me or are you?
No, I'm just wondering, like, your school of thought on this because I think a lot of people have drawn the line on now this is a live service product when it should just be Skate 4, right?
Sure.
Like $70 out the bag, give me the full experience. Because I think my worry goes to now with this live service thing is we're going to play early access and all of a sudden I'm going to jump in to Fansterdam and it's going to have 4 dudes with missions, and then eventually those missions will run out. And it's like, well, now I'm jumping into an open world to skate, which is what I want to do. But it's like, I would rather just have a full world that is already created, and I play at my time,
Sure.
not on your time.
So you're coming in with a very worthy argument, and I appreciate that. I love it, but you're fucking wrong. No, I'm kidding. No, of course, if they launch in early access and there's 4 jabronis giving you things and that's it, that sucks. I hate that. And now, of course, is that going to be the full game when we get to launch and it is 1.0, whatever. My counter to that would be 2 examples of I think that do it well so far and that don't do it well. Number 1 being Monster Hunter, where you know how much I love Monster Hunter and how much I've played Monster Hunter Vanilla, and here's this Blossom Festival with new shit to go earn and no stuff to do, and they've already put in more monsters and they're putting in more monsters. I'm gonna put Monster Hunter down like I was saying right after our stream today until there's the next big update I want to come back to because that's exciting for me, right? I like being able to come back to a world I'm invested in. My counter, so like that's right there of like why I wouldn't want it just to be, hey, here's the package skate and it's done. I'd rather have a reason to come skate over and over again. My other example of doing it wrong, I think, is Animal Crossing. Animal Crossing was the biggest fucking thing in the world. Had a tiger by a tail. We all loved that. I loved that so much. Majority of us all loved it so much, right? Played the fucking shit out of it. Was checking in every day. And then it was like, oh, that's it. There's nothing happening anymore. This isn't alive. This isn't changing. There's never been beyond the first Halloween event where I was like, yeah, oh wait, I don't get the shit until Halloween. Like this sucks. And I bounced and I've never been back. Like I'd rather it be that, hey, there is a full game. There is a skate game and experience they're putting out after early access, which I don't want to judge them on, right? And then there is all this other stuff to go earn and events and this and that.
I think it comes down to, do you want a smaller amount of people paying $70 and having that hardcore audience be like, I care about this game is back. It's sort of like the Madden kind of thing where it's like football fans and Madden fans want to get the Madden game every year, right?
Yeah.
Can you sell a smaller amount of people on a $70 product, and is that worth it for your studio to then fund the next thing or whatever?
Sure.
Or the live service game that's free, and we hope a lot of y'all people are spending money on it in order to fund whatever this is. Because if you're not funding it and if you're not keeping it alive, it will die, and that looks like a failure. And I think it's a lot easier to frame the live service stuff. Our servers are going down 1.5 years after. It's easier to frame that as a failure and like, man, what a fucking, they took a big L there.
Yeah.
Then we put out a campaign game. We sold however many copies for $70. We still made money. Sure, we're doing like online things or whatever, but it's. I always go back to the Outriders thing. Them framing it as this is not a live service. You play, you beat the game, you play with your friends, and when you're done with the game, you're done with the game. And because of that, you can't frame this as an L if people stop playing it because the game is done. You know.
Yeah.
And like another wrinkle of just like the always online and all of this stuff of like, I think for a skate game, especially with the first 3, you know, my memories aren't like playing really online Skate 3. It's having friends over and we're playing offline and doing all the fun modes and stuff is like, Greg, you're talking about like going back and stuff for your dailies. Like, I would like the idea of being able to just go back to that game 5 years down the road, like people still are with Skate 3 to this day, right? And then also with the Dead on Arrival thing, I don't think it'll be Dead on Arrival because I think what that game is offering is a bit more unique than a lot of other like live servicey games that are usually more like shooter focused.
Yeah.
I think it'll be something similar that was also released under EA was Knockout City. I don't think Knockout City was free to play to start, but that was definitely one that lived for a bit because of its uniqueness being a dodgeball game.
Yeah, I think it was like 20 or 40. I forget.
Yeah, it was something like that. I think they might have pivoted to free to play, and
They
kind of
did,
like last legs, and then they withered away. And I could see that easily being the story of Skate.
This episode's brought to you by Imperial. We've told you all how important it is to developers to wishlist games you're interested in on Steam. So if this game sounds cool to you, make sure that you wishlist it. In Imperial, you play as a mercenary sent to a distant planet to discover the mysteries of an ancient civilization. Powers unknown lie within the monolith. But those are no mere ruins, as an expedition has already ventured inside with only a few survivors. Why was it built? What powers reside within? Who is at the center of the monolith? All these secrets and more will be uncovered if you are brave enough to take on Imperial. Imperial features a unique blend of RPG systems and skill-based combat across 3 weapon archetypes: the acrobatic glaive, the defensive but devastating mace and shield, and the powerfully ranged cannon. With a deep ability system and extensive customization, every battle is an opportunity to refine and optimize your combat style. Form relationships with each of the few surviving expedition members who all have their own personal quest lines. Whether you choose to help or not can have drastic consequences for them. The monolith is guarded by powerful automatons, each with distinct attack patterns and weaknesses that demand precise execution and strategy to be victorious. Create your mercenary, enter the monolith, learn powerful abilities, defeat the automatons, and uncover the secrets that lie within Imperial. Imperial is available May 8th on PC, Xbox S and X, and PS5, but you can wishlist now. Do it! Wishlist Imperial. This episode's brought to you by Aura Frames. If you haven't called your mom in a while, here is your reminder to do it. But then if you want to go above and beyond, Mother's Day is coming up and I have the perfect gift idea. Aura Frames are incredibly smart and easy to use, allowing you to upload unlimited photos and videos directly from your phone to the frame. Plus, you can order the frame online and preload it with photos and videos using the Aura app, so it's ready to go right out of the box. It's a gift so special, they'll use it every day. Trust me, Gia's dad does, Greg and Kevin, and a ton of people here at Kinda Funny are obsessed with their Aura frames. It takes about 2 minutes to set up a frame using the Aura app, and I know that from experience. Aura has a great deal for Mother's Day. For a limited time, listeners can save on the perfect gift by visiting auraframes.com to get $35 off plus free shipping on their best-selling Carver matte frame. That's AURA frames.com. Promo code Kinda Funny. Support this show by mentioning us at checkout. Terms and conditions apply.
Sydney Sweeney to star in split fiction film adaptation from director John M. Chu. This is Jennifer Moss at Variety. Sydney Sweeney is set to star in a film adaptation of hit video game Split Fiction with John M. Chu directing, Variety has learned. The script for the movie is being written by Deadpool and Wolverine screenwriters Rhett Reese and Paul Wernick. The Split Fiction film will be produced by Mike Goldberg and Dimitri M. Johnson's Story Kitchen, formerly DJ2 Entertainment, which is taking out the talent package now to studios and choose Electric Somewhere. Sydney is set to executive produce. Sources tell Variety it has yet to be decided which lead role Sweeney will be playing, Zoe or Mio. Released on March 6th, the game quickly became a hit with players and critics alike, receiving positive reviews and massive sales. According to Hazelight, the game sold more than 2 million copies in the first week following its launch, and that number continues to rise at a rapid clip. Andy Cortez, thoughts?
I mean, she's also going to be in the Gundam movie, which is huge. I'm at a weird place with even the Split Fiction news being a thing.
I really thought you were going to be Sydney Sweeney.
Real racist family. No, I'm kidding. But it kind of reminds me how I felt when you go, oh, they're making a Twisted Metal TV show. Like there's Am I in that weird universe where Twisted Metal is like the #1 IP? Like, I understand Split Fiction, great video game.
Oh, yeah. And that's who she's got to be, right? She's got to be the redhead, the fantasy one. Is that
can she do an English accent? Because that girl has an English accent.
Is that Zoe? I forget if that was Zoe. Is that Zoe?
No, I think the other one.
Other
was
way
Zoe.
around. That was Mio.
No, maybe you're right.
I think Mio is the dark haired.
Well, maybe we don't care about accents at this point because it's not. Maybe they're just casting people.
But like, remember, if I'm right, Mio was the one that she's man, it's so rough out here because of my personal life, and I don't find joy in anything until I find my friend, and we go through this.
I don't know.
I appreciate that no one's been able to correct.
Never played the game.
No one is corrected finally someone at the Neo Aishi says Mio is the dark hair. I was right, nailed it. Okay.
Never beat the game.
Thanks,
Mike
Mike.
won't answer my text.
Mio's the tortured dark soul, not Dark Souls.
I just think it's kind of odd. Like, I'm happy that video games are getting more attention to.
I'm sorry, I gotta stop you. TJ Electronica says Jenny Ortega as Mio. You're right there. You got a motion picture.
That's not bad.
That's really good fan
That's
casting.
fucking
That's
real
really
good,
good
actually.
fan casting.
I'm happy that more and more adaptations are we're sort of we've eclipsed the comic book movie and we're going into video game movie, and more and more of these IP are going to get greenlit. And that's cool because that puts more of a focus, and that will hopefully lead to more sales and things like that. But I do think it's kind of odd that a game that came out this year is already kind of getting this level of attention for a movie.
Yeah.
Maybe it's just because of maybe it's the source material. Maybe it's like, it's more easily adaptable because of the different situations they're going through, because it's, two characters that get pushed into a video game, and that's kind of every video game movie. That's exactly what this is,
That's a great point.
And I think just the premise of genre blending and stuff, I think that's kind of an easy pitch to Hollywood for them to be like, ooh, we can get sci-fi and fantasy fans together in the theater.
You could put your Tron in here, and we could put, World of Warcraft or what, I don't know.
I think all that, I think you're 100% right. I think, again, like, they see that success, those 2 million units in the first week, let alone, of course, the success of Hazelight with Game of the Year last time around for It Takes Two. You know that, you see that, they've got the juice. And, like, again, remember what we're talking about here and how movies work. They've announced this with Sydney Sweeney attached and John Chu attached, right? So, and now we're going to studios. So, like, you're still quite a ways from the next step of this getting made. I remember when they optioned an Antler movie back in the day when I was at Mizzou. Like, somebody wrote a script about this thing, and it was going to have one of the first bachelors in it. And, like, I was in charge of the Antlers at the time, so I had to give interviews and stuff. That movie never happened. You know what I mean? It's just things getting snatched up and what's going on. I think, again, to your point, what you and Barrett are talking about, like, it makes sense why you can show this trailer to someone and they go, I get what this movie would be.
Right. And, it's also important to note that it's April 2025. You got to assume this movie will come out in 2027 or 2028, and we'll have like 5 different directors and producers and writers that have been laid off or left the project, or whatever.
Of course.
Maybe Sydney Sweeney leaves in 2 years. Who knows?
Yeah.
Because that just kind of seems to be the story with a lot of these things. You bringing up the Antler thing always reminds me of way back in the day reading that Mark Wahlberg. Mark Wahlberg's production company buying the rights to the Coheed and Cambria story for movie rights. And I was like, holy shit, they're making it. And then, like, it never happened, of course.
Yeah, you
they're
snatch
just
that up,
buying rights.
Do nothing with it. In the chat, you had mentioned you've never finished Split Fiction. Alex Frazier does super chat and say, what are those unaccounted 4 hours, Andy?
I really cursed him for bringing up this unaccounted hours thing.
Yeah.
Because now it's just become Mike's staple.
Sure.
And it's just...
He's not creative enough to come up with.
Yeah. It's like that time that he definitely heard a phrase, a folly of errors, and then repeated it.
Good.
Yeah, like he, that's not something he ever learned in school.
Yeah. So you have no answer for where it is?
I mean, the unaccounted 4 hours are just, I saw you for 12 hours today. Give me time. Give me space, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Where's Mike text back to Andy?
Last night after I was like, all right, that was my last one in Marathon. No, it's not. You hit the button. Like, no, I have games daily. I need to stop
sleeping. Joe Farah.
Joseph Fares?
No.
Oh.
Farrelly. I think I got it. It's not Farrelly, but Farrelly. Maybe it is Farrelly. Anyways, Joe says Sydney Sweeney doing Split Fiction, Outrun with Michael Bay, and the live-action Gundam movie. Sydney, come on the podcast. If anybody knows Sydney Sweeney and wants to put in a good word for us, go for it.
Of course, yeah. The pop culture princess, you know.
Is that what they're calling her now?
The word on the street is she's single though. TMZ. I don't know if TMZ said that.
I thought she went to Glenn Powell's wedding. She went as his date to his sister's wedding, and everybody flipped out.
When was this?
It was like right after they broke the news of her and her.
Was it
fiancé
when she
splitting up.
showed that photo with the no ring on her hand or whatever?
No, I don't think so. But maybe I haven't seen that.
You
photo.
got to come here for all your news, everybody. Like
we should do. She's so tied in now.
Right.
We can start doing the Sydney Sweeney report. You know what I mean?
I'm down. I'm down.
Everybody, when Bless gets back, let him know we need to be posted on Sydney Sweeney news as well. Sydney Sweeney, Glenn Powell, sister's wedding. Here.
Are you making sure this wasn't in your multiverse?
No, I'm going to read to you the real thing. You know what I mean?
Okay.
Well, I haven't heard this. This is breaking news to me.
Oh shit!
And
from when?
This is from April 2nd.
Oh, okay.
Glenn Powell says this is why Sydney Sweeney was actually at his sister's wedding.
I don't believe it. Don't try to cover up Glenn.
He insisted there's a simple explanation for why she was there, and no, it wasn't as his date. Quote, Leslie and Sydney, the sister, are obviously great friends, and it was a hell of a wedding. The Powells know how to do it right, he said. Okay.
Well, I'm not buying it, Glenn. You're too pretty for that. Yeah. I'm not buying it, Glenn.
We'll get to the bottom of that. You know what I mean?
Okay.
We'll get Glenn Powell on here. Cross-examination. We'll get some real answers on this one. Moving on, number 3 on the Roper Report.